Have you wanted to know how exactly did the Allies invade North Africa during World War II? Then you will find out here as the plan to land soldiers in North Africa, codenamed Operation Acrobat, will be explained in detail in this video. The narratives of 2 Allied soldiers are included along with the commander's explanation of the operation. This will allow us to know what the soldiers thought of the operation themselves. Before we start, an important thing to note is that the first minute of the film contains no narration and just audio, so you can skip ahead a little bit if you'd like. Anyways, enjoy.
And the convoy continued its hidden way.
My name's McAdams, Joe McAdams, Kansas City, Kansas, private first class. I was on one of those ships you're looking at, part of the biggest show on earth, and didn't know it. Too darn many ships to see all at once. Well, we'd been hollering for action. Now we were going to get it, but we didn't know where. Norway, France, Italy, China. Finally, on the 5th day, we got the news. I mean, what we'd been waiting to hear. They handed out little guidebooks. I remember the first line: "You are to do duty in North Africa as a soldier of the United States." Gave me kind of a kick.
Why North Africa? What was the plan called Acrobat? The convoy from America was heading east, the one from Britain heading south. At a given point west of Gibraltar, the British convoy would divide. For 12 hours, the 2 halves would proceed in opposite directions. Then the second half would reverse its course and follow the first, passing Gibraltar 24 hours behind. Thus, with clock-like precision, the combined operations would begin with simultaneous landings at Casablanca, Oran, Algiers. Casablanca to protect our flank against an Axis attack through Spanish Morocco. Oran and Algiers to secure bases from which to press eastward. Then the occupation of Tunisia, from which we could cut Rommel's supply lines across the Mediterranean. Next, to trap and destroy Rommel's Afrika Corps between our Allied forces and the British 8th Army.
Thus, one arm of the Axis pincer would be amputated, and supply lines round the Cape of Good Hope would be shortened by half through winning control of the Mediterranean. North Africa would be ours, with bases from which to stab at the heart of the Axis citadel. Those were the main objectives of the plan called Acrobat. In both convoys, the men kept fit, now knowing the task that lay ahead. For most of them, this voyage was a new experience. They'd never been so far from home before.
That's certainly true of me. My name's George Metcalf. I was a greengrocer in Civvy Street. We had a shop a long time. Only we're a military family, really. My dad was at Passchendaele and I was at Dunkirk. Never met such a collection of blokes as we got on this ship. Chaps from Glasgow, New York, London, Melbourne, Cape Town, Montreal, Chicago, Birmingham, Wellington, Bethnal Green, the whole issue. I reckon it's about time this team of internationals got cracking. When I was peeling spuds just now, I made up quite a letter to my girl, all about the way these ships zigzag and about flying fish and whales. Of course, we haven't seen any yet, but I reckon she'll like to know I'm enjoying myself. And now I got something else to tell her too. The best news for a long time. They just put it up on the ship's board.
But the Eighth Army's offensive was only one phase of a larger strategy. Included therein, the bombings of Genoa, Naples, Turin, precision bombings of the Renault factory, turning out Rommel's tanks. All these a part of the plan called Acrobat, of which the enemy still knew nothing. Nothing of the submarine trip to Africa by General Mark Clark, with a message to be smuggled into France. Nothing of the arrival at Gibraltar of General Eisenhower, where he was joined by General Henri Giraud, who had received General Clark's smuggled message. The enemy knew nothing until the last possible moment, when the first half of the convoy from Britain steamed past the fortress of Gibraltar.
It was at night that the ships passed through the straits. The time had been carefully chosen, for here in narrow waters, attack seemed certain. Aboard ship and on the rock, everyone stood to, but the ships moved steadily on. It was as though, for the moment, the enemy's sword had fallen from his hand through indecision. This time, it was in Rome and in Berlin that the lights burned all night. For the first time since the war's beginning, somebody else was calling the tune. But before the enemy could collect its wits or its forces, our ships lay, as planned, off their appointed destination. Events planned 4 months earlier moved to a climax.
That's the end of it. What did you think about the film? Comment below and remember to subscribe for more.